Happy Halloween! It's Halloween in 2 days. I've got to work. They tell me I have to dress up. I don't think I'm going to. We'll see if I get in trouble. Uh, hey, listen, D Train here. We're talking Hellraiser. We're finishing up. I've got a ranking of all 11 Hellraiser movies. Might not be what you're expecting. It doesn't really line up with my star ratings, but we'll get into that. I have today we're talking about Hellraiser Judgment, which if you've never seen, that makes sense. Who did? Who has ever knew this movie existed? It came out 2018. That was recent. I I was very much I hosted a franchise movie podcast in 2018. This one, the one you're listening to, and I had no fucking idea that was a movie. All right. So and then we also talked about the remake, which I'd seen, which has like a trans pinhead and um lots of alcohol addiction metaphors. Okay. Let's bring in Logan. Happy Halloween, Logan.
Happy Halloween to you too, Daniel. There was never a conversation between you and Henry, like new Hellraiser came out. What do you think? Maybe
I
do
think it,
Hellraiser?
it was probably mostly like we'd already been putting it off because there's too many of them, and then it was like there was another one, and we were like, we're never gonna fucking do Hellraiser.
Yeah, I'll wait till you quit and I get a new host who
Yeah,
will do it
yeah,
with
yeah,
me.
exactly.
What if you were to dress up for your job? What do you think you would go as? Like in 2 days, you were like, "Oh my God, I have to dress up." What would
Hmm.
you do?
Hmm. Um, I have no idea. I haven't dressed up for Halloween since I was 17 years old.
Is there anything like with the look you have right now you think you'd be equipped well for that you can do? I think I'd do like the Star is Born thing. I'd like make my hair crazy, like not
You
shower
could
for a
do
couple
that. You
days,
could
do
do
the
that.
Bradley Cooper thing.
You know what you should do?
What's that?
Just go out normal, but with like a huge piss stain on the front of your pants.
Or be like, "Hey, Dad, I just want to take another look at you."
Yeah, yeah, that would
Something
work,
like that.
man. You could
Yeah.
do it.
hmm
Um,
Remember
all right.
last week when we were like, as much as we can say about these movies, we're never bored. I don't
Yeah.
feel that way this week.
No, I was super fucking bored at both these movies. If these aren't the two worst Hellraiser movies, and they're not, uh, well, one of them might be, but I do think that these are the most boring, both of them. Like Hellraiser Judgment is super short and felt like double the length of that fucking Revelations one, and because it's all about hell bureaucracy. So much of Hellraiser Judgment is like at the offices of hell, and they're auditing people, and then like the boss comes in with to put a kink in the works, and it's like it barely has a plot. I mean,
Yeah,
and whatever plot there is just another bullshit hard boiled detective film noir thing, which for some reason, despite having nothing to do with the first three successful movies in this franchise, has become like the go-to genre for the sequels. It's so
yeah.
weird.
I think there might be just as many detective stories as there are Hellraiser movies about actual hell raising. I
I
think there
think
might
it,
be like four and four. It might be about even between the two
I
of them.
think if you took all the movies in the franchise and edited together all the Cenobite scenes and all the hard-boiled detective scenes, the hard-boiled detective movie would be longer.
It would be longer, but my problem is I don't love the Cenobites either. So I'm not sure what I'm really holding on to in this franchise. I guess not anything. I'm not really a fan. I only really like three of these movies, but I'd only really rewatch one, maybe two.
Well,
Probably only one.
I rewatch Hellraiser every few years.
Yeah.
And after doing this watch through, I'll add Hellraiser 3 to the rotation. I'll watch that
Oh,
every few
wow.
years.
Okay.
But other than that, I mean, I'm looking at like my number like 4 Hellraiser movie here. I can't imagine ever putting it on again.
hmm I feel basically the same. I think I like the middle section a little more than you do, possibly.
Man, I mean, I had fun with a few of those. Like, there are a few Hellraiser movies that I think are like appallingly bad, but that I enjoyed watching. And I don't know that I'd put them on again, but if I was with a
If I was with
friend
someone who
or
had never seen
yeah, no, not someone that never seen. I think if someone was like, let's put on Hellraiser Hell World, I'd be like, all right.
But no. But if I was with someone and like they had seen all the other horror franchises, but not Hellraiser, maybe
Really? You'd rewatch this whole franchise with somebody?
oh no, maybe the good ones.
All right. I don't know. I'd have to be like obsessed with that person.
Well, hopefully one day I will be. I wouldn't do
I
it
hope
with somebody I wasn't.
I hope you are. All right. L Dog,
Mm-hmm.
let's get through them. I think it could be a quick episode this week.
We'll see.
Although I will say, in terms of slime, which as you know is my favorite part of the spooky season, Hellraiser Judgment, incredibly slimy movie.
Really, I'm not sure I really noticed that. You'll
Oh,
have to
baby.
notice a lot of wet paper,
I
slimy
hated all
paper.
that. I mean, of all the gross things we've seen in this franchise, I'm not sure how wet
Hmm.
paper became the grossest, but I think it is.
It was the man eating them that was gross. It was the fact that he said they
John
were little.
Gulager,
Yeah, I thought you
by the
might know who
way.
that was. The
It's
name sounded
fucking
familiar.
it's John Gulager, the director of Feast. All right. He was I if you want to see all about his directing style, check out Project Greenlight season 3.
Oh wow.
Uh he's the director that season. And he made Feast and then he made Piranha 3 Double D.
Okay.
And
Have you seen that one?
no, I've only seen the previous one. But I don't know. It's just so weird. Like he pops up in this movie. I'm like, I knew him immediately. Like, hey,
I
John
hated him.
Gulager. And
LVP.
I, I was disgusted by him.
That's
I was
that's the
so
point.
repulsed.
Also,
I know, but why?
yeah.
I just don't know who this movie would be entertaining for. Like, it's not. I'm not saying every horror movie has to be fun. Like, this is like dark and trying things, I guess. But it's just gross and
I think what had happened is a lot of time had elapsed from the last movie, and this franchise took on like that's a gross franchise. So when they came back, they just made it extra gross. I did feel the Saw uh influence on on
except
this.
what you don't know is that this movie was written for the first time in 1996.
Why is that true?
Yeah.
That's incredible. All right, well, throw out everything that I just said.
I mean, let's get into it. All right. Hellraiser Judgment. This is the 10th Hellraiser movie. It's the sixth straight to video Hellraiser movie. Although it technically came out in a couple of theaters. I see it has a $350,000 budget and it made $426,290 in theaters.
And you have
Uh,
to imagine no marketing went into it, so they probably actually made their money back.
Probably.
So good for them. That's crazy. Why was this one in the theaters? That's so stupid. Was the next one
All
a
right.
theater release? I can imagine it could might have been.
It actually wasn't. The
Wow.
the, the remake debuted on Hulu.
Yeah, it's still up there.
I think that's why I watched it.
It was just there.
Yeah, it was like, hey, I have Hulu. I'll
Like
watch the new
Prey.
Hellraiser.
Prey was on
Yeah,
Hulu.
yeah. Although Prey, I might have checked out in theaters.
Yeah. And I think we did y'all guys cover that live? Or did we cover that? I think I might have covered that with you. I don't remember.
Whoever it was,
Oh,
we
it was me
definitely
because Mid
covered it
Thunder.
like
We
the
fell in love
week
with
it
Mid
came
Thunder.
out. Yeah, that's right.
So that was definitely me.
Mid Thunder. All
Damn boot.
right. So this one is Gary J. Tunnicliffe again. He wrote the last one. He's done like special effects makeup for a lot of them. I read that the only reason he didn't direct the last one was because he works for Dimension and they had him working on the effects makeup on Scream 4.
Oh wow. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Um so he's been trying to direct a Hellraiser movie for a long time, apparently. Right after Bloodline came out in 1996, he wrote this movie
Hmm.
and he pitched it to Dimension. And they were like, "Who are you even? Get out of here! Get out of my office!" And so he did, and then he tried it again, like so he finally gets hired to do like Revelations, and he wants to make a sequel to that one. He's like, perfect. My sequel will be that fucking awesome movie I wrote back in 1996. And so he pitches it again to Dimension. Dimension's like, no, this is terrible. We only made that movie so we can hang on to the rights to the franchise. We don't need to make another one right away. In fact, they were already working on the remake. Like they had like Clive Barker writing scripts for a remake. And so they were like, we don't need you at all, Gary Tunnicliffe. Get out of
Yeah.
here. Get the fuck out of my
So how do you manage
office.
to get this to work then?
Listen
And
to
get
this.
himself in the role. He's the
It,
freaking auditor.
I know. He's all over this fucking movie.
That was amazing.
All right. So what ends up happening is he's so pleased with this Hellraiser script that he runs a Kickstarter to
Wow.
crowd fund this Hellraiser movie. It fails. I mean, it's unbelievable. The guy, his
See, this guy's an
fortitude.
inspiration. He shows
I,
me that if you keep going, it'll fucking work out.
but at a certain point,
You can be Tunnicliffe and it'll
you know,
still work out.
can't you just look at that script and be like, maybe it's bad, maybe it's not a good script.
He had belief.
He really did. Like no one has ever believed in themselves more than Gary Tunnicliffe.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. Does he
Yeah,
direct it too? And this is like the best he has. I really didn't like this one at all.
no, I hated it.
And I like was
Cards on the Table, least favorite Hellraiser movie.
yeah, it's pretty rough. I could barely follow it. And at a certain point, I was like, why do I even care to follow it? Why? What am I even doing? Just so I can talk about it? Who cares?
I was able to follow the hard boiled cop stuff, and with their search for serial killer, the Preceptor.
Right.
But
With the
then there was
commandments
everything that just took place in that house with them like torturing people and Cenobites, and like
and the
I
brother like
couldn't.
turned evil or whatever.
I well, he was evil all along, wasn't he? He was the Preceptor.
I don't know. I feel like every week there are two movies that have the same twist, and I
I
get
know.
very confused.
I just like anytime we were having conversations between like the auditor and Pinhead, and then like that angel woman from heaven, like I never knew what was going on during those scenes.
Yeah. And instead of trying to follow it, I just let the
That's
movie
the
happen.
thing. Like I feel like if I did really hunker down, I probably could have paid it, like figured it out.
But if you
But
don't care, you don't care, you
I
know?
didn't care. I didn't care. And ultimately I think I do know what happened, but just because there was so much exposition during the scene at the end with the heaven lady that
Mhm.
it kind of explained the whole movie to me.
Right. My big complaint, I feel like the two cop characters were way too hot not to hook up with each other. What do you think about that?
Which all right. So you have
Like there's the woman and then the younger brother. They're two brothers. One's younger, one's older.
right.
They were like way too
You
attractive.
thought the younger brother should have been hooking up with that lady?
I feel like they were way too attractive. And they were never like, oh, my husband or my wife back at home.
I'm
Neither of
not
them
even really
seemed
sure what the lady added. I first suspected that the preceptor might be the older brother when they added the lady to the cast. I was like, "Oh, this is so the other one has someone to talk to." When it turns out the other one's the killer.
Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah,
Yeah,
because I guess he doesn't add anything else. He's just like another good guy on his side while his brother's bad. Yeah, good, great call.
right. I mean, the older brother was clearly, if it was gonna be one of them, it was the older brother, because we kept having scenes where like he's mad at his wife and stuff, like he's
That's
having
true.
trouble at home, and I'm like,
Yeah, he
oh
comes home late and she's like, "Oh,
yeah,
late again," or
he
whatever.
must be leading a double life.
I think I sort of blame the wife a little bit, not to be like not to do that or whatever. But I think when you marry a detective, you have that conversation like, I'm gonna be on the job a lot. It's gonna consume a lot of my like it's like heat or whatever,
But
like
here's the problem: this guy, he's not just doing detective hours; he's doing detective and serial killer hours. That leaves no time
but
to
that's
be
what happens
home
when
with
you're
the
a
wife.
detective. You get obsessed with it. I
But
just
he
watched the
became
Zodiac
a serial
documentary.
killer, so he's out here killing people, but also solving crimes. All right,
I
there.
think that's
That
more
is
important than your
literally, that's
marriage.
got to be all the time. Killing people.
Solving crimes.
But what about the killing people part? That takes
Right.
time.
Well, that's terrible. That's terrible.
Yeah.
But that's like the Buffy thing.
Logan
Like,
is anti-killing people all of a
eh,
sudden. Fucking Menendez fan number one.
that's true. I get if that's not on the main show, I am a Menendez apologist.
That's true.
But that's like the Buffy thing. Like if you save so many lives, if you accidentally kill a couple people, well, what's the big deal? Like Faith, like when she killed that person, Deputy
I
Mayor Alan
think I,
Finch.
I think it matters. Very good. I think it matters more than you're saying.
No, it does. It does. You're right. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
You are just like just like
You don't have to
Keanu
do
Reeves
it.
once did. Am
That's
I
true.
right?
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say Pacino, but he wasn't the devil's advocate. He was simply the devil.
Yeah, you'd be way.
Yeah,
That's like Frankenstein's monster,
right.
Frankenstein
Good
situation.
call.
You'd sound so dumb if you did that.
Yeah. What am I? Hubie. Um. So, all right. So so after the failed Kickstarter,
Yeah, how did he do this?
this is the idea he has. He's like, I'll write a different Hellraiser movie and I'll pitch it to Dimension. Okay. And then if they like it, I'll just rewrite it as that movie from 1996.
Well, played them completely,
So he writes,
and they won't watch the movie, so they'll never know what I did.
yeah, pretty much.
That's pretty good.
Oh, oh, it hurts.
Oh
I he writes this movie, Hellraiser Enter Darkness,
wow, I kind of like that.
and Dimension approves it. All
Oh
right.
yeah.
And so he's like, this is amazing. So he doesn't even do what he was going to do. They green light Hellraiser Enter Darkness. They like put the thing into production, and then he just tells them, I'm making that other script instead.
And they're just like, okay,
And
it's
they're just
already in
like,
development,
yeah,
whatever.
I mean, we gotta get it out. Like, hang on to the rights to the franchise and shit. Like, we can't deal with this shit anymore. Just make a movie. And so he goes off and he does this Hellraiser Judgment. They film it. They were also doing the same thing, trying to hang on to the rights to the Children of the Corn franchise. So they actually filmed it simultaneously and in the same locations as Children of the Corn Runaway, which was directed by John Gulager.
Oh, shit. Okay. I
Mm-hmm.
thought you might say the remake. I'm not as well versed in the Children of the Corns. I
No,
guess
the remake was like 2009. Oh, but you're talking about the remake with
the
the girl we
2020
liked.
Enid.
Yeah.
Is that her
Is
name?
that her name? Enid?
I was gonna say Edna, but I think it's Enid.
I don't think it's either one.
Hey Siri, what was the cool girl from Children of the Corn remake? Oh, she's not gonna pull it. Oh, Kate Moyer is the actor. It gave me her name.
Oh yeah. Uh Eden.
Eden. I've mixed up the N and the D.
Yeah, there you go.
Damn it.
Anyway, so it finally comes out February 13th, 2018, just in time for Valentine's Day. Take your sweetheart to the movies to see a dude fucking drooling
People
paper.
definitely did that. So, like there are
Well, you
definitely people who
you
did that.
know there are those couples that post like Harley Quinn Joker memes on their Facebooks,
We're
and,
Pinhead and
and
Deep Throat. They do that though. You think people ever go, is that? They're not a couple, I guess, Pinhead and Deep Throat.
yeah, they're not really a is Deep Throat even a thing anymore?
She was in
I
like
don't
two
know.
movies. I was so excited for those first four, and then they sort of dropped them.
I
Well, no,
know.
Chatterer's in all of them, basically. Chatterer's
Yeah,
in
but
a lot
like
of
I
them.
said, I'm telling you, it's because he's babysitting.
Which show? Who? Chatterer?
Because Chatter is a little boy.
But what happened to the other ones? Like the fat one.
Maybe they like retired.
It's so dumb.
Maybe they're like living in a Cenobite community somewhere.
Was Chatterer just like the easiest one to like make the look for? They're like that one
Well,
we've got down. We can do that. Chatterer anytime.
you all you need is the sound effect of the chattering. Like I noticed in this movie, he wasn't even chattering. Like his mouth wasn't moving at all. But
Yeah.
they'd show him, and you'd hear that,
But it wasn't the mouth wasn't moving.
but the mouth wasn't moving.
That terrible. The actor can't move, just move his mouth a little bit.
I think the makeup was so thick that like
Oh
it
my
was just there
God.
was no adjusting it at all.
Yeah, what's a mistake?
Plenty of mistakes to be had here.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I've pretty much already said everything I need to say about this movie. What else
Whoa.
you
What
got?
happened in the plot? There were the Ten Commandments. I didn't like how they were like, "Thou shall not." Isn't it "Thou shalt not"?
Absolutely.
In this whole
See,
movie, they're like, "Thou shalt."
we're just dumbing shit down for the masses at this point. Thou shall not.
Thou
Come
shalt not
on.
covet someone's wife. It's like, come on, thou shalt not, motherfucker.
You know, I'm reading all these Thor comics from the 70s,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like amazing to me that no matter what writer they put on the character, they can write it in that like old English style, like the way he talks.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not sure you could do that now. I think you'd have to find like a specialty writer who could do Thor. Like
It's
back
like
then,
one guy.
like
Yeah.
people were smart. They could just all write that
This is a
way.
good call. Yeah. You'd have to
Yeah,
hire the one guy in Hollywood who can do
right.
it. Great point. Yeah. So Heather Langenkamp showed up as the landlord
Yeah,
of.
looking rough. I felt sad for her.
I didn't know it was her. I legit waited the whole movie. I was like, oh, Heather Langenkamp's going to show up.
She's fourth build.
Yeah, she was very high, but it got late. I was like, she's got to be showing up. And then I was like, are they doing like the Luke Skywalker thing where she's like at the very last 5 seconds of the movie? And then at a certain point, I looked it up and I was like, oh, she was that landlady earlier on. That was
I
fucked up.
recognized her as the landlady,
I had no
but
idea.
like she is in one scene. She's just sort of like foul mouthed and talks shit. I don't know. It reminded me of the landlady from Chairman of the Board with the carrot top.
Okay. Well, they fake have her
What
in a
you
sec.
excuse me, do you not get that reference? You
No,
don't
but
very specifically remember the landlord from Children of the Board with carrot top?
no. But when I
Chairman of the
watch it,
board. Fuck.
I'll
All right.
specifically look out for that.
Yeah.
They
No,
fake had her in a second scene where he like went back there and was like, "All right, thanks for letting me in," and he like walked into the room or thanks for
oh
turning the
yeah,
lights on. He said to her.
that's right.
So they
They
like
were like,
fake
see,
got
she
her.
was there. She was
That was very
there.
funny to me, and I didn't
Yeah.
realize that was Lane Camp. But then
Mm,
like when I reverse thought about it, I was like, "Oh, very very
yeah.
funny." But
Ridiculous.
but I don't know,
Nancy. Poor Nancy.
Nancy.
But she must be getting offered horror roles all the time, like in shitty shit like this. And I mean, this is what she accepted.
Yeah, I don't know. She was really hurting at the time. Like my kid has to get in college or something. I don't know
You
what it
think
was.
this is paying for the kid's college?
It had to pay
I
for something
I think it's
very.
paying for a fucking hot meal.
I saw she acts like she does act and stuff. This isn't even close to the last thing she did. So,
What's the last thing Heather Langenkamp did?
oh, I don't know. You'd have to check that.
I'm
But
interested in that.
what about all the boobs in this movie? So many boobs. We start out with there are three boobs, well, six boobs, I guess, three women. And then there's like a woman shows up at this like apartment and she's like about to take her dress off, and then she gets that dog shoved inside of her. Remember
She
that
gets to.
part?
Oh God, I
They pull the
hated
dog out
that.
of her.
I hated that.
I hated that line that the guy said where he was like, "It's her baby, so they put her in her womb." It's like, well, yeah, we got it. Why did you have
Yeah,
to say
yeah,
that?
right. They
What the
they
fuck?
explained it. It's like there's this new trailer out for an NBC show now, and it's called Brilliant Minds. All right, and it's got Zachary Quinto in the cast,
Okay.
and I keep seeing this commercial for it where like they're trying to really prove that like he's a doctor who doesn't play by the rules, and there's this one scene they show where he goes, "There's a method to my madness."
That's
And I'm
good.
like, you don't say that.
Because otherwise, you might be like, is this guy just flying by the seat of his pants, or does he know what he's doing? With that line, you're like, oh, okay. He really understand. He's very meticulous.
He knows just what he's doing. Oh
So
yeah, Langenkamp showed up in the Midnight Club. That was like a
right,
what's his
Flanagan.
face Flanagan a couple years ago. So I don't know. She's still doing a couple legit things.
But she's in that the way he gets like a lot of those people. Like this will be fun to get Henry Thomas.
Yeah, but Henry Thomas is in fucking all of them.
It's a good point. But
He
maybe she'll be in
loves
future
Henry
ones.
Thomas.
Maybe she'll
I
be
don't. She's done stuff since then. I haven't seen fucking Langen. I didn't see Langenkampf follow the House of Usher.
yeah. Well, I haven't seen that Follow the House of Usher, so I don't know. I say I'm a fan of his. There are like three of his shows I just flat out didn't see. And if he was, we could do Ouija. Didn't you do Ouija too? That was one of his
Yeah,
early
I would
things.
love to do that. I've
I've been
never.
wanting to see that for 10 years. Ouija
Yeah,
2. Oculus. All right. Never
yeah,
saw that one.
never saw that either.
He has a lot of good stuff that I haven't
All
seen.
right. Anyway, what else you got?
Oh my
So
God. What
it's
else
like,
happened?
yeah, the dog thing. There was this moment in that scene where he like reads a note from the killer, who turns out to be him, who's reading the note, and he's like, the like, and people are gonna see this and think, and they're gonna only feel bad for the dog. And I was
Wow.
like, that's true.
But the dog lived.
I Yeah, but like the dog is the one who's like put in a lady's womb. That's not where dogs should be.
The woman was murdered and had her baby puppy shoved in her womb.
I don't know. Listen, I feel bad for her too, but like, why are you trying to like give me shit for also feeling bad for the dog?
I
What
feel
you're
bad
doing
for
to the
both.
dog is just as horrible.
I don't even know why that's a little thing in the movie. I feel bad for both.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be telling me how to feel. Let
Good
me feel
point.
how I want to feel.
Yeah, this fucking serial killer, he thinks he's manipulating people's emotions. He's just doing seven, right? Like it's the
Yeah.
seven deadly sins,
10.
but for this, it's the 10 commandments. Yeah.
Yeah. T10N.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all this movie is, but with like Pinhead sometimes.
Sometimes barely. And at the end,
Mm.
we send him to Earth. So we might run into Pinhead, right? He gets banished to Earth. That was kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, I read that in the original script. They did a scene where all his pins get taken out of him,
Ooh,
and like they find him in an alleyway, and he still has the grid on his face, but no pins.
that's cool.
Yeah, I was like, that would have been the best scene in the movie, probably.
Now here we just show him he's like a human. He's just like normal,
Yeah.
kind of.
And like it doesn't even hit the same way because it's not Doug Bradley. It's like a dude who's
True.
playing Pinhead for the first time.
Yeah, great point. We did see
Yeah.
Doug Bradley. I'm glad we got to see him like when he was doing the box method though. Not in this movie, like in the early on. I'm glad he's in one of the movies with his real face.
Oh, yeah. Got
Right. Yeah.
got it.
Apparently
I
there's a credit scene. I didn't stick
Yeah,
around
I
for.
didn't either. I read about it. It's like some Mormon missionaries pull up to a house in Germany and the auditor's there. That's all.
Yeah, basically that's what happened. I didn't even go
Yeah.
back to watch it. I just read about it. So what do we do? Was that the end? Sorry,
Uh,
guys.
look, sorry, please.
Oh, should we
Sorry you
rank
had to watch this
2018? We
movie.
didn't rank 2018.
Oh
I
yeah,
guess
we
let's
could do
finish
that.
this. We can finish this.
Um,
1 star.
1 star MVP. I am gonna give it to Pinhead. I thought he was a vast improvement on Fat Pinhead from the previous one.
Definitely. Paul T.
Uh,
Taylor's the actor.
yeah, he was all right. Uh, I don't know. I thought bearded serial killer slash cop was okay. I
Yeah,
thought some of the women were okay, but all of the female roles were ridiculously underwritten. Like nobody
totally.
had anything to do.
Even like
And
our lead woman, top
yeah,
character. I don't
yeah,
know.
she was just someone for the other guy to
I
talk
thought
to.
she was very pretty though, honestly.
Well, yeah, sure.
She really was.
Um, and yeah, the you're gonna give LVP to Gulager, and I understand that, but I'm gonna give it to Tunnicliffe. There's just too much of this. Like, I feel like I really got a glimpse into this guy's head with this movie. Like, he wrote it, he directed it, he's the fucking auditor, he designed all the makeup. This is his
He
baby.
tricked the production
And
studio.
I don't know. I feel like if this is his baby, maybe late term abortion might be the way to go. All right.
Why does that have to be a late term?
Well, it's already out.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
good
yeah.
point. Well, I didn't know all the stuff about like his early involvement. This was just based on the film when I gave my LVP, so I went to Gulager. But I do think you're right. Like this is the product of Tunnicliffe, and I fucking hate
Yeah.
it. So LVP. Gary J. Tunnicliffe. Why J?
Uh,
Is there already a Gary Tunnicliffe?
I don't know, man. Maybe he's really proud of that middle initial.
And there's a Paul T. Taylor as Pinhead. Why
Yeah,
they
what's
do?
going on?
Yeah, they're the only two that have that though.
Strikes me as a pretentious thing, honestly.
Well, I'm Logan B. Adair. What are you saying? Some of these people
You
have middle names though, as in their actor names. A lot of them actually, like 5 or 6 of them. Anyway, who
all
cares?
right? Anyway,
So
oh, you want to do 2018?
yeah. Oh, in 10th installments, I have this last place. All right, there we go.
All right, so again with these lists, like I do them on Letterbox, and the years don't always line up with shit. So like, First Reformed came out this year. That would be my number one. All right, but it's not on the list because Letterbox has it listed 2017 because of film festivals and shit. Um, that's just you know, whatever.
Yeah. So you want to go first or me first?
You can go first.
Okay. My 10, I put this number 10 to bring awareness to the fact that we should do it one day. Paddington 2. I'm still looking forward to that very much. And you have never seen them. Number 9, we should get we should get Martha. She loves Paddington. I'm
No,
pretty.
she's dead to me.
Oh yeah, right. Number 9, Thunder Road. Jim Cummings, great Jim Cummings. Number 8, Black
He's
Klansman.
also in that last stop in Yuma County that I was telling you
Really?
about before, Jim Cummings. Yeah.
So I didn't know he like popped up and stuff. He didn't make
Yeah, just
himself.
acting in this one.
He should do that more maybe,
I
so he can
agree.
make money to direct and write his own stuff.
Boom.
Jim Cummings, email me. Number 8, Black Klansman. 7, First Reformed. It is on my list. 6, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. 5, The Favorite. 4, If Beale Street Could Talk. 3, I hope this is on your list. I'm not sure it will be. By the way, do you add Free Solo to this list? That's this year, Free Solo.
I haven't, but it wouldn't be on the list.
Oh, it's my 12 there. But 3 is A Star Is Born. I love it more every day. I just mentioned it in this episode. 2, Mission Impossible
A
Fallout.
Star Is Born, better than Black Klansman and First Reformed.
And If Beale Street Could Talk.
Yeah, yeah.
And The
Amazing.
Favorite. Yep. Number 1, Hereditary.
What was 2?
Mission Impossible Fallout.
Oh, okay.
Best.
And number 1, Hereditary. Okay. Got it. I mean, this is a pretty good year, I'll say.
Yeah.
Like my top 20 are all pretty much bangers. I guess, like they're like outside of the list is like Leave No Trace and Shirkers and Widows and House of Jack Bill, Eighth Grade. Like those are all great.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but here's Annihilation. Yeah, that's out there. Here, the top 10 though on my list is number 10, Support the Girls by Andrew Pachalski. Number 9, Thunder Road by Jim Cummings.
Same placement.
Yeah, true. 8, Mission Impossible Fallout. 7, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. 6, The Favorite. 5, Her Smell by Alex Ross Perry, who is coming out with a new film about the band Pavement.
I saw that the other day. I meant to send you the IMDb page for it. Yeah, that has to get you super freaking excited.
Yeah, I have never been more excited for a movie.
It's called Pavements, I think.
It is, yeah.
Pretty cool.
Number 4, If Beale Street Could Talk.
Same placement.
Yep. Number 3, Under the Silver Lake. Number 2, Hereditary, and number 1, Black Klansman.
Where's The Star Is Born?
I'll tell you in a sec.
40s.
Oh, I did add Free Solo to the list.
It's got to be under A Star Is Born.
No, it's above Star Is Born.
I know it would be.
A Star Is Born. God, where is? Oh, here it is. Number 65.
See, that's you got to rewatch that. How many times have you seen it?
Just once.
Oh, rewatch it. Let's do a commentary for it. We can just sing all the songs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have a 65 between Don't Worry, He Won't Get Far on Foot and The Strangers Pray at Night.
Oh my God, I'm gonna not sleep tonight. I'm gonna be thinking about that. All right, so moving on to the remake of Hellraiser, a great film.
No, it's not.
Long. It felt like 3 hours long.
It was 2 hours long. That's why it felt that way.
I know.
Listen, if you are remaking a classic, a movie everyone agrees is great, all right, and you're doing it without the involvement of the original creator of that movie. What how many balls do you have to have? Like how much faith in yourself do you have to say my version needs to be a half hour longer?
That's what these horror directors, they have just full belief in themselves, sort of.
It's true.
It's why there are so many horror movies that get made, like bad and good. These people, it's easy to make, and these people are just like, I have a vision. Listen to me. Let me do it. I
Okay.
love it. I freaking love it.
So remember when we were doing Revelations back in 2011, I said like Doug Bradley had already been in talks to do a remake,
Right.
and then that got made. So this remake had been in development since 2006. All right, that was supposed to be like the way forward for this franchise. Clive Barker was going to write it and direct it at first, and then just write it, and then it got all fucked up because of Revelations coming out. But they couldn't get the remake off the ground. Like Clive's version was too weird for them. They wanted like something that could make money, and they ended up just like making Revelations as a placeholder. But that also
Mhm.
hurt their relationship with Clive. So after
And
that,
with
they
Doug
and Doug
Bradley.
Bradley, absolutely. So then for a while they were trying to pitch other versions of the remake. Like it'll be a remake, but more like a reboot, a reevaluation.
Hmm.
And so for a
A
minute
requel,
there, yeah.
as Scream 6 would let us know about.
Mm-hmm. For a minute there, it was gonna be the dude that directed that movie, The Roommate,
Oh
with
yeah,
yeah,
Minka
uh,
Kelly.
yeah, and Blair Waldorf. What's her name? Leighton Meester. And it was going to star Amber Heard. All right.
Okay.
And that didn't get off the ground. Then they had the dudes that wrote Feast. They had pitched a Pinhead origin movie, like a prequel, and they were looking at William Fichtner to play Pinhead, and that would have been good.
Fichtner as Pinhead would have been great.
Yeah,
That would have been freaking
incredible.
awesome. Like
It
if
would have
he
been
shows up
incredible.
like I am ready to be Pinhead, like committing himself, which I feel
Yeah.
like he always does.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever seen William Fichtner lazy? No.
No, never. What's your favorite Fichtner?
I'm telling you, it's the TV show Invasion.
Okay, okay. I
He's
like him in
incredible.
Go. He's really
Oh,
scary in
great in
Go.
that. He's so fucking awesome. He's one of my favorite actors ever. I
Yeah, he's
I
really cool.
can't get enough of Fichtner. All right. So then in 2013, Clive came back and he's working on the remake again, but they still fucking can't do it. And then that falls apart. And then finally in 2018, Halloween comes out
Oh yeah.
and is like that points the way forward for all horror franchises. Let's just do that.
Yep.
Um,
And so we did. That's a great point. That really launched like a whole new, got a bunch of remakes after that.
yeah,
Child's
yeah.
Play was like right after that too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that was the plan. I mean, it's not a remake. That one's more of a requel. But like that became the way forward. Is like we'll do a new version of the franchise. We'll call it the same thing as the original, and then that's what we're doing.
Yep.
Um, so they finally get it off the ground. David Goyer, the lamentably untalented David Goyer,
He has one
with
movie I like. So he's the invisible guy.
I knew
I
you were
talk
gonna
about
say
all the
that shit.
time.
I knew you weren't gonna say Batman Begins. You were gonna say the fucking Invisible.
What did he do? He wrote Batman Begins?
Yes,
Oh yeah, my bad. Well, he directed The Invisible, so I give him full credit there.
I know. All right. So Goyer has a story credit on this movie. He's the executive producer, and he brings in these fellas Ben Collins and Luke Piotrowski.
Okay.
they're gonna write it, and David Bruckner's gonna direct it. It's the same team. They had just worked together on The Night House
I
with
don't know.
Rebecca Hall. I was looking forward to this Hellraiser remake because at this time I was a fan of David Bruckner, Logan.
Okay.
I enjoyed The Night House, and I enjoyed even more than that his previous film, The Ritual,
Okay,
which
I've
is
heard of that
on
one.
Netflix. And it's got a guy from Downton Abbey in it, and they're stuck in the woods, and there's a crazy creature.
Ooh.
And it's very intense movie. One of the few horror movies I remember being like really scared for the protagonist. Like I don't want them to die.
You
It
should watch this
looks like
movie,
they're gonna.
Sweetheart. You know what that is?
No.
It's a movie I watched because of Henry. It was like on one of Henry's lists, and I watched it. It's a woman trapped on a beach, and there's a creature after her.
Well, that sounds all right.
Sort of cool. Yeah, I remember liking it.
I love beaches and creatures
And women.
and women.
So the trifecta
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah. Beachers.
Features.
That
Is
should
that
be
one
the
of the
title.
Muppets?
No, that's Beaker.
Oh shit.
Mhm.
Okay. My bad.
All right. Um, so they make this movie.
Oh, they
It
did?
comes
I didn't
out,
know
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It comes out October 7th, 2022 on Hulu on a $14 million budget.
Maybe they got you because it was the Halloween release date. It was like perfect timing. That's way better than Valentine's Day. That'll get people.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Halloween.
it makes sense. Listen, it was perfect for me. They were like, here's a guy who's directed two movies you like, and it's gonna be on Hulu only, right? So you'll be watching at the same time as everybody else.
Yeah,
And it's around Halloween. Boom, go watch it. They got me.
they got you. And you're a fan of the original, so why not?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you know any of these actors?
No, no, I didn't.
What about today? Have you seen anything today?
Not really, honestly. Like
Oh,
none of them looked super familiar to me. And I remember expecting to see the main girl and stuff after this. Like I thought she was pretty good. And then I don't think I've seen her since. But do you know who she is?
no. I remember
Oh,
looking her up. I thought she was
her
good too.
her name's Odessa Azion. Okay.
Great name.
But it turns out that last name, Azion, she just like made it up.
Wow.
That's not her name. All right.
Okay.
Because her name is actually Odessa Siegel Adlon.
Oh my God. She's
Okay.
related to
And
Gideon?
she's Pamela Adlon's other daughter.
Wow. She
Yeah,
doesn't look like Gideon.
she does. If you I looked it up halfway through this movie, and then I was like looking at her for
I can't
signs, and
see it at all.
you have to like pay attention next time you watch her. But then so
What?
I
No,
spent
you're
so
out of your mind. They have different eyes, different mouths, different hair.
they have the
They're
same
like
sort of shape though.
that actually is crazy to me. I feel like they don't look similar at all. They're sisters, straight up. Like full sisters, or do they have different fathers? Do I know?
I don't know, but
I feel
who
like they
which one
must.
of them is older?
Ooh, that's a good question. This one, maybe.
I thought so too
This one
because
seems like 27 and Gideon seems like
no, Gideon's
24.
older. Gideon's
Oh
older.
shit.
Okay. So like in Better Things, that's a TV show that Pamela Adlon created about her raising her daughters. So like I kept trying to think like which one in the show is Odessa and which one is Gideon. And so if Gideon's the oldest, then Gideon is the one that Mikey Madison played.
Okay.
Okay.
That's awesome.
And Odessa would be the middle daughter who was sort of like a little off kilter and non-binary and stuff, which kind of made sense. Like she
Right.
changed her last name and shit. That
Hmm.
so I'm really getting to see this. I hope
Yeah,
that
you nailed it. What do you mean middle daughter? There are three daughters?
yeah, there's three. She has three daughters on Better Things, and I think in real life. So I'm hoping that the younger daughter becomes a nepo baby as well, so that I could follow all three of their careers.
Yeah, seriously. Um, so it's like the Full House situation. It's the three daughters.
It's a single mom with three daughters.
So
Yeah,
Gideon is DJ, and then Odessa would be Stephanie. We're just waiting on Michelle though, really to bloom.
to blossom. Yeah,
Yeah, that'll be cool.
yeah. Um. All right. What do you want to talk
That's
about with
crazy.
this
That's actually
movie?
crazy to me. I didn't see that coming at all.
Yeah.
Azion, that's cool. She's like she's like Sheen or Estevez. I mean,
Right. Well, but I think Estevez is like the real name,
oh right. Well, but he's like
and
differentiating himself though.
I
It
guess
doesn't
so.
want to go
Yeah.
by the sheen.
All right. You want to do 2018 or 2022 real
Oh,
fast?
yes. Yes, I got
Yeah.
my list. So I'll go first. Number 10, I've got Pearl, which is, we'll cover it at some point
Mm-hmm.
soon, maybe. Nine, shout out to Tim. I put this number nine. Hundreds of Beavers. What? Oh, there it is, number nine. Eight, Catherine Called Birdie. Is that, yep.
Yeah.
Seven, Vengeance, that BJ Novak movie with J. Smith
I
Cameron that we
loved
talked
that
about
movie.
recently. Very funny movie. And not just funny, though. Pretty cool movie. Six, Babylon. I'm a part of the Babylon Hive. I don't know if you guys know that or not. Number five, Top Gun Maverick. We have a podcast about it. Check it out. Four, Tar. Look, I haven't really heard much about Tar since it came out. Three, After Sun. Remember After Sun?
Yep.
That was a good one. You saw that,
Yep.
right?
I saw
Three,
Irish people at a resort,
yeah, him and his
and
daughter.
yeah, she makes out with a kid by the pool.
He's gonna be their new gladiator. You know that, right?
That's right. Yeah. I want to cover that. I want to go
We will.
see
I think we should.
Gladiator 2 in theaters.
I think we should do that.
Okay.
Two, The Fablemans. That's another one gets better like every week, basically. Number one, The Banshees of Inisherin. I think maybe the best movie of the 2020s so far. Banshees of Inisherin.
What about that roof fire?
I knew you'd say that, but I fucking love that movie. It's either that or Red Rocket for me. Those two.
Okay. All right. Here's my list.
Yeah.
2022. Number 11. I mean, sorry, 10. What am I doing? Number 10, Emily the Criminal.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9, Crimes of the Future. Number 8, Women Talking.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Number 7, The Banshees of Inisherin. Number 6, Moonfall. No,
Oh my god.
no, number 5, Catherine Called Birdie. Number 4, Armageddon Time.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, Tar. Number 2, Vengeance.
I know
And
you're
no,
number one.
what?
The Northman.
The Northman, correct.
Crazy. The Northman stuck that well for you.
Yeah, love it.
Shout out to Jackass Forever. Listen to our episode.
Absolutely. Great film.
Yeah.
All right. Why don't you take the lead on this one so I can
All
sit
right.
back a little?
Well, I knew some of the actors. I guess we can start there. I knew this guy Drew Starkey. Okay, he plays the boyfriend in the film. We see his butt in the shower. He
Is he
turns out,
Ringo Starr's son?
yeah, Ringo Starkey.
No,
Right?
because that's his real name, Starkey.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Might
So you're
be.
talking about Trevor.
He played Trevor. He's from the show
Yeah.
Outer Banks.
Oh, you love Outer Banks.
I love Outer Banks. Yep, great show. I have not watched
At,
the new season. They did this thing where like half the season dropped and the next half is dropping on November 10th. So I'm waiting
yeah,
until November 10th.
I've been doing that with Tulsa King.
I don't know why they did that shit.
I don't know. I
What's
hate
the
it.
point of that?
All right, so you know this guy from that.
Yes. And Brandon Flynn, the other actor that I know, is from, you want to guess?
Outer
13
Banks. Oh,
Reasons
of course. Yeah,
Why.
yeah.
He plays
13.
actually probably my favorite character on that show, Justin Foley. Shout out. I think he might be reason number one why she killed herself, or reason number two.
Really?
He's one of the early reasons. I think the first episode is about him.
What is
That
he, a
damn
fucking
smile.
asshole? That damn smile. Jesus
Well,
Christ.
the thing is, like, no, some of these people are assholes. He wasn't really. Like he was, he for sure, but
But what about that damn smile? Maybe
it,
if he
it
didn't have
trapped
such
her.
a beautiful fucking smile, she'd still be alive to this day.
It's true. He's a very complex character. We should do 13 Reasons Why. That'd
Oh
be very
my
fun to get
God.
into. At least
All
the
right.
season one of 13 Reasons Why. I really think that.
I know you do.
But
Okay.
he also dated Sam Smith in real life. Brandon Flynn. He was
The
famous for
actor?
dating
I
Sam
mean
Smith.
the singer?
Right, the singer.
I wonder if any of his songs are about him.
But they have to be, at least one of them.
Wait, so who did he play in this movie? The 13 Reasons Why
He was
guy?
the brother, like her brother, her gay brother, who's
Her
like,
gay
you're
brother
supposed to be clean.
who died.
He died. He's the first one who to die
Yeah,
at
yeah.
the playground.
Right. So the here's the setup. You've got Odessa Azion. She's Riley. All right, you love that name.
I
And
love it in a lot of ways. It's the name of my brother, so I love
oh
it.
yeah, that's right.
There are like four Rileys that we've covered this year. Not we covered, but Inside Out 2, there was Riley. In Trap, the girl, her name was Riley. Can I say something about Trap, by the way, that I've meant to say when we covered it?
Go ahead.
The daughter's name is Riley. We he gets home in that movie. Halfway through the movie, we visit his home, Josh Hartnett. He has a son. You want to guess his son's name?
No.
Logan. Crazy. The
No.
craziest thing. That's just yeah, Riley and Logan. That's me and my
Wow.
brother. It was crazy. But anyway, yeah, so she's
All
Riley
right.
and
So
yeah.
she's an alcoholic, but she's 6 months sober. All right. She's recently started dating a guy named Trevor, who she met 12 stepping, I think.
Yep.
And but he's still doing drugs, not drinking, I guess.
They say it's
And
like a bad thing to meet somebody doing that, but I mean, you're both like relating and getting through something together. I think it's kind of cool.
you don't know they call it 13 stepping.
That's a bad
It,
thing.
it's a bad thing. You're not supposed to do it in the
It
first
gives you more
year of.
motivation.
No, it doesn't. Because I mean, if everything's going perfectly for both of you, then yes. But so many people relapse in the first year of recovery that if you're in a partnership with somebody who relapses, it's going to influence you.
Right. Or you could meet someone who's like into drug dealing and they could have somebody that kills you, like Breaking Bad. Jesse
That
Pinkman's girlfriend, she
that's
dies
another thing. Like you have new connections
to the
now.
drug world.
Yeah, it's
All
I
right, maybe
heard
I'm
I
wrong.
heard that Matthew Perry, like all those like enablers that fucking gave him the drugs that he ended up ODing and
Right.
dying on, like all of those were people he met in different recovery houses.
All right, so I'm way wrong. Don't get too involved with the people that you're recovering with.
No, I did it a
Professional
couple
only.
times in my first year of recovery, and honestly, I got lucky. Like they were not good situations, any of them.
Yeah.
Um, so anyway, so she is dating Trevor. She's living with her brother, the 13 Reasons Why guy.
And
The
his boyfriend.
brother has a boyfriend that they're living together. And then there's also another girl in that apartment. I don't know what she adds to the movie whatsoever, but
It's a
she's
good
another
point.
character.
Yeah, she really did nothing. Did
Uh
she
huh.
die? She might have died, but she did nothing. She had to have
Yeah.
died
I have no idea what her purpose was of the story
to
or
die.
anything. Yeah. Um, and those are the characters.
Yeah, that's who we've got.
Trevor brings her in on a plan to steal from the rich.
Well, first they're fucking, and everyone in the apartment like hears them. That was the fun part. But you guys heard us fucking, didn't you? They're like, yeah.
It's true. And while they were fucking, she kept saying harder, harder.
And he
That
said, I
must be
love you.
that must be fucked up. Like I've heard my sister fucking,
Okay.
and that's already like bad enough. But like if I ever heard her like harder,
Oh, yeah.
I think that would bug me.
Yeah.
Um,
There's a commercial where like two kids are listening to their parents fuck, but it's like an insurance commercial.
you sure that wasn't a porno you watched?
Nope, it's a commercial. I saw a
Wow.
lot of football games.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Yeah, anyway, so he brings her in on this heist to rob from the rich. It's 2022, so like you can have your protagonists robbing as long as it's from the rich.
Right. That's the only way.
Yeah, yeah, then it's likable.
Right.
Um and so
Don't
they
Breathe was like the last time we could rob from a blind person.
good
But he's
point.
not
Yeah.
blind. He's like an assassin, basically.
And
So
he's obsessed with cum.
it
Um
was.
so in they find this safe. She's able to open it
Yeah, with like a
and
sledgehammer. She
yeah,
just
I
like bang
guess.
bang. Hope he gets in there.
And the only thing that's in there is a puzzle box, the lament configuration.
Oh
Now,
boy.
when I watched this movie when it came out, I remember feeling like maybe if I watched all the Hellraiser sequels, this would mean more to me because this movie has an unhealthy obsession with the configurations of various puzzle boxes.
The Leviathan.
there's all kinds of shit going on. Like there's six of them. They all start with L's. They all
What is this? Wolfram and
are a,
Hart? I
mhm.
already made that
They're
joke.
I know you did. They're all like a different thing, and they all have different results and different shapes. And
Hmm.
I was like, I assume, like I always assumed that like all the Hellraiser movies, like they would be introducing these configurations along the way, and that's why, like, for someone who's like a fan of the franchise, to see them all pop up in this movie, that would have been like really exciting. But they all were made up for this movie.
Yeah, nothing's really the same movie to movie in this frame. The Kirsty was like a thread for a few movies, but that's really it, honestly.
Yeah.
There's nothing really to hang on to with this franchise, like to care about that much.
No,
If
I
you
mean,
like gore, then
honestly,
whatever.
like I feel like Bloodline is better in hindsight than it was at the time, because at least like that was like trying to pull some lore together.
Yeah,
Like, look, here's the guy that invented the puzzle box, and his family has a history with it, and
I don't
you
have it
know that.
that low.
Yeah,
Have a
I
good
don't
one.
either. I don't either. But I mean, this movie to me, it was like the worst of all worlds, because it's like the annoying bratty teen kid characters of Hell World. I mean, they're not even teens, they're 20 somethings, but like, 20 somethings act like kids now. And
There's probably 30 somethings, honestly.
yeah, you're right. I mean, I work in a shop that sells like Pokemon merchandise, and we almost exclusively sell to adults. Um, so it's like the kids from Hell World with like the lore and locations of Bloodline. And it seems so crazy like to do a remake of Hellraiser and just be like, well, you know what, fuck that original movie. No one cares about that.
Yeah.
Let's like play off of some of the least remembered in the franchise.
Well, they do get back to there is like the hell raising part where it's her brother, so she wants to resurrect him. That was like the easiest thread to the first one, but like that's happened a few other times. But yeah, there's no reason to make this a remake. It couldn't have been any like Hellraiser, uh,
I just
Leviathan.
can't, because like Hellraiser to me, like if you're gonna call a movie Hellraiser 2022, the purpose of that would be like all people who are interested in Pinhead or have liked any previous Hellraiser movies, but that have been staying away from the franchise all these years because all of them seem like shitty cash grab direct to video movies. Calling a movie Hellraiser in 2022 lets you know it's safe to come back to the franchise.
Right.
Watch this one. We're taking it seriously. But then, like, I do think this is taking it seriously, maybe a little too seriously. But it, like, I can't imagine coming into this as like a newcomer or a lapsed fan and just being like, oh yeah, this is the stuff. Hellraiser is great.
No. And
It's
it's too long. I realize that's a lame complaint, but it's
no,
why
it
is
is
it half
not.
hour longer than every other
It's
movie?
there. All of the Hellraiser movies, I think, for the previous longest one was over 20 minutes shorter than this one.
Yeah, and there's no need for it. Like if there was a need for it, I'd be like, all right, fine. But there's not.
Okay,
Just cut shit
my
out.
review of the original one on of this one, I mean, on Letterbox, when I watched it the first time,
Hmm.
it's said, and I didn't remember much about the movie, but I read that review. Okay, and it said, from the mansion on, this is a total endurance trial.
Yeah.
Okay, and then so when they got to the mansion in this movie, I remembered that from my review, and I checked to see what time it was. It was only 45 minutes into the movie, into a
Yeah.
2 hour movie. So they're stuck walking around that mansion, like puzzle box shaped mansion, for an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, and that's basically what they do. Because there was the second one where our complaint was like they're running down corridors for so much of the movie.
Yeah.
This one, they're just walking down places, and we see like them like sit down and take breaths and just like sit. Like nothing happens for so long. You can just skip like if you next time I watch this, I'll just skip like I mean, why would I rewatch it? You can just skip like 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds.
Yeah,
Nothing's happening in this fucking movie.
it's true. I mean, that's
Even the deaths
editing.
suck.
Dude, I barely even remember. I watched this yesterday. I barely remember any of the deaths.
Yeah, just looks like shit.
And also, it's trying to like say all this stuff about like addiction and 12-step programs and stuff, and it's so dumb. Like no one involved, like those are the worst scenes in the movie to me as a sober person, because like
Yeah.
no one is acting like they should. And like I can feel like the wheels moving of the writers. They're like, see, the characters are unlikable, but that's because people that are recovering are unlikable and untrustworthy and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but like, why does every character in this movie have to be such a little shitheel? Like, the only likable character is like the brother's boyfriend. Like,
Right.
everyone
No,
else is just yelling at each other. It's histrionic, and it has nothing to say, and it doesn't understand anything about addiction or
nobody.
recovery.
I think another problem. Nobody. I mean, not in all things, but nobody really creates any new specific characters. So they just like do like, oh, this is a thing that's been another character, so I'll just do another addiction thing. But nobody
Yeah.
has like a new character they want to make or anything like that.
No, it's the thing where all horror movies now have to be about trauma. And
Right.
and
Yeah.
this is the trauma they chose for this movie.
Yeah. I think
I
I
hate
what was it I listened to recently? I listened to something. Oh, it was Alex Ross Perry was on. I don't know if you've ever heard the Big Picture podcast, but he was on there. It was like it's one of the Ringer podcasts. But Alex Ross Perry was on there. They were talking about horror movies, and he was saying he like I agree with this. But why do movies have to be about something all the time? Like especially horror movies. Just make it about nothing. Make it
I
about the horror thing.
yeah,
It
I
doesn't have to be about
agree.
trauma or addiction or whatever.
No, it could be about wax figures coming to life and attacking people,
Yeah,
or
or a
or a
little doll.
mindless blob wandering
Exactly.
the countryside.
100%. Yeah. So,
I couldn't agree more.
yeah.
It's because horror had been ghettoized for so many years, and I think like it legitimizes it and makes it art to them. Like directors see someone like Ari Aster come in and get called like elevated horror, and they're like,
Yeah,
I can
elevated.
do that.
Yeah. I think that Alex talked about that. Elevated really like fucked with people's brains. They wanted to
Yeah.
make everything the next like elevated thing,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But
Um,
I don't
what'd
know.
you
And
think of
then
Lady Pinhead?
she was pretty cool. She had a name. What's the priest?
Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
I don't know how to say this without coming across.
It's okay. I feel like you say a lot of things and come across not great. So just go with
Is it just because I'm not great?
it. I think you're great, Daniel.
Thanks. All right. So Pinhead shows up.
Right.
She's a lady.
Hmm.
Okay. That's fine.
Right, of course.
But they put this vocal effect on her.
Oh, Pinhead.
Right.
Something like that.
And I was like, it makes her sound trans.
That was a problem for you because you hate
No,
trans
it's not
people.
it's not a problem. But then I looked up the actress that played Pinhead, and
Hmm.
she's trans.
Oh, okay. Jamie Clayton.
And so I don't even now I don't think it was the vocal effect that was making me think that. I think it's just a vocal effect on a trans woman's voice. Sounds like a deeper version of a trans woman's voice.
I feel like they were going for something with the effect. I
I
don't think
don't
that's
think
by
it got
accident.
there. I don't think it got there. Like to me, it was just pin. I don't know. Look,
Is this a complaint? I don't really
it's
understand this.
not a complaint. It was something I was thinking about a lot, and
And then it was
I
confirmed. You thought more about it.
yeah, I guess so. And like
Right.
it just didn't seem like it added. Like if you're gonna do Lady Pinhead, I feel like it's got to be like a real performance behind it. And like I looked up this trans actor, and I think Jamie Clayton was
Hmm.
her name, and she was like a model.
Yeah.
And so I to me it's like casting a model in like a voice role in an animated movie. Like, why even bother? Just cast an ugly person.
Right, and there's so much makeup on her, you can't even tell that it's her anyway. So
Yeah,
really, what
like
does it matter?
it feels to me like they thought of the look. Like they were like, what if we had like a trans model version of Pinhead? And like that's as far as they got with that character.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't
I
know.
didn't think anything about this.
Listen, I prefer it to Fat Pinhead,
Oh,
but
100%.
I would give it 3 of 4.
I'll never forgive Fat Pinhead. But I
Yeah,
actually like the movie that Fat Pinhead was involved in, so
me too. I mean, I didn't like it, but I liked it more than a bunch of them.
comparatively. Do
Yeah.
you like these other guys? We have the Chatterers back, but then we have the
Oh, I
Weepers.
don't care. I don't care about any of these fucking
Oh,
people.
okay.
Yeah.
But they had cool names. The Gasp and the Asphyx. What the hell is that? The
The
Asphyx.
ass fix.
Asphyx.
Oh, so like asphyxiation.
Well, how would you say that? The Asphyx? The
I
Asphyx?
can,
I don't know
I
how you
just
say
like
that.
the ass fix.
The
Like an
Asphyx.
ass fix. It sounds like someone's gonna like sew your butthole shut.
They're a proctologist. They're an Asphyx.
Yeah,
But
I'm an ass fix. I'm Doctor Ass
that's
Fix.
what they call me. It's on my license plate. Asphyx. Um, all right, so we didn't care about those guys, but whatever. Yeah, I mean, her brother dies, and she has to start feeding people to for to resurrect them. Whatever.
Yeah, so it's like, well, you know, there's one lady in the house that adds nothing. Like we could do that. That's no problem.
Yeah, no,
But
no one
but
was her.
oh, and then there's another thing too, where it turns out Trevor was working for the Cenobites. That's a big
Right, twist.
twist. And so he like has been playing her all along.
Yeah, that made me sad because I wanted her to be happy, and
You,
her boyfriend.
you really you thought like
Yeah.
Trevor and her could have a happy ending?
Well, I didn't like that. Sucks that her boyfriend was
Trevor
evil.
and Riley forever.
How's she gonna trust again? Not that I thought she was gonna end up with him, but how's she ever gonna trust anyone ever again after
I
this?
don't know. How do you go back to life after having a Cenobite situation?
Kirsty did it.
I mean,
Fine.
sort of. I mean, she was in a pretty abusive marriage, and the puzzle box got brought back into her life. Like, I mean, it's not
She
like she
lived
went
though.
back and like lived a normal life.
It's true. I
And
guess
she
I
was a
thought
very promising young woman.
it's a great film. I think that's
It's
2021. I don't think that made the
good film
cut
with a
this
bad
year.
ending.
Yeah, that's what you say. I think it's
Mm.
fine. It's whatever. But anyway, so that's this movie. Oh, and then there's like a Jesus Cenobite at the end.
Oh, I liked that part.
That was crazy.
Yeah,
That blew my mind.
the makeup of that part, like where like the eyes, like she was like staring into like nothingness, and then like the eyes like adjusted,
Yeah.
and I don't know, like whatever effects were going on in that scene, like really worked for me. This guy, David Bruckner, the director, I told you, like he has like a weird creature in The Ritual, and it's
Mhm.
like one of those movies where like if the creature's like boring or like something you've seen before, then the movie doesn't really work. But because it's so out there and so interesting, like it like makes the third act of the movie that much scarier.
Yeah.
Like that he's got a good eye for that sort of thing, which is why Pinhead was so disappointing to me, honestly. But
Yeah.
I
All right. I didn't take note of that, but that's good. So you
but
hope we see this Jesus Cenobite at the
no, I
end? They
don't. I
come
don't
back?
want to see anything from this fucking movie again. But that scene was like kind of the coolest scene in the movie.
Yeah. I didn't see it coming, so
Yeah.
do they have plans for a new one? Do we know?
Mm,
Upcoming
I know
Hellraiser.
that David Gordon Green was attached to do a TV show for a minute, but
I
I
think I
don't think
hate
that
David Gordon Green.
happened.
I think I
Hey,
fucking hate that guy.
why?
Oh my God. Where to begin? The Exorcist.
Well,
I just hated that
I
movie.
just wish he'd get out of the horror
But isn't he
stuff.
doing more? Like, is he still planning to do The Exorcist 2 and 3? Wasn't there that a
No, that
trilogy?
fucking tanked. I don't think they're gonna make them.
Good. I think I
But
called in that episode. I was like, no way they're doing 2 and 3.
no, I don't think so either. But like David Gordon Green to me, like he'll always be like
Yeah, but do that. Why not go do that though?
he
Why?
does. He likes to do both. And then he also directs those like Jody Hill shows on HBO. Like he does episodes of Righteous
Oh,
Gemstones and
okay. That's
Eastbound and
okay.
Down and Vice Principals. Like he's interested in a bunch of different shit, and I think he just likes to work.
Well,
but
this horror thing, I'm not a fan of. I like that third Halloween movie, but
I like all three of the Halloweens he did, but that Exorcist was terrible. I'm with you on that one.
yeah, yeah. Uh,
Oh, he's got one coming out this year, and
what's that?
it's called Nutcrackers. It looks like more
Hmm,
his old style.
that's cool. Who's in it?
Yeah, Ben Stiller, Linda Cardellini, Tim Heidecker, Toby Huss. Interesting cast.
Okay,
Coming out
yeah.
November 29th.
All right, Linda Cardellini. So 1 star for this film, right?
Uh, yeah, I gave it two when it first came out. Part of me wants to give it two. I'm gonna give it two. There's just enough going on here. It feels like a real movie, but I like it less than some of the things I gave a one to.
Yeah, I don't have. I guess we'll get to our rankings in a second. But
Yeah,
in my MVP is gonna be the lead, Odessa Azione
yeah, me too.
slash
Seagull slash Adlon.
right. And my LVP is gonna be the gay boy. I was gonna say the gay boyfriend, but I guess if you're they're both gay boyfriends. But he's the one that's not the brother. Adam Faison. I
I
hated.
thought he was fine.
I couldn't stand him. That was terrible.
I thought the performance was kind of bad, but the character was the most likable character for me. So
I'm
like,
going for the actor. I thought the actor sucked.
okay. Well, I'm gonna go with that rando girl.
Oh, good call. I thought you might go Pinhead. I was gonna be a little upset by that. The
No, no.
priest. But yeah, she just completely useless as a character. She is the LVP for sure. But
All right, let's
ranking
rank
time.
Hellraiser. I got all 11. How do you want to do this?
I think we should go back and forth.
Okay. What do you got at number 11?
Hellraiser Judgment, the 10th
Me too.
film.
Me too.
Yeah. Number 10, I've got this one, Hellraiser, the remake.
No, that's crazy to me.
It was just I would rewatch it last of all of them if I had to rewatch one right now.
All right, I've got Deader.
That's my number 9. That's my number 9.
Okay. My number 9 is Revelations.
Holy shit, serious? I was looking where I had that one. You remember which one that was?
Yeah, of course. It's
Tijuana. You remember?
yeah, and making out with your brother.
That's pretty shocking to me. Number 8, I've got Hellraiser Inferno, the Scott Derrickson one.
I have that higher. Number 8 for me is Hellseeker with the Mayhem guy.
Mayhem, I thought you would say.
I was trying to say it right. Okay, you don't have to then say it the way I say
I love that way. Number 7, Hellraiser Bloodline, the Adam Scott time travel one.
it. 7, I have the remake.
Okay. 6, Hellraiser Hellseeker. Mayhem. Mayhem. Sorry.
6
I'll
for
stop.
me is Hellraiser Bloodline.
Okay. 5 is Hellraiser Hell World. The Henry
I
Cavill
have
one.
that at 5 as well.
Okay. My number 4 was your number 9, Hellraiser Revelations.
All right,
Funny games one.
and my 4 was your number 8, I believe, Hellraiser Inferno.
All right. So we really swapped on those
Yeah,
two. And then my number 3, easy top 3. Number
yeah,
3 is Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth. But I think that might be your 2.
yeah. 3 for me is Hellbound, Hellraiser 2.
That's my number 2.
2 for me, Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth.
And the number 1,
And
best
the
Hellraiser.
original, yeah, I still haven't topped that fucker from 1987.
No. And I hope that they don't, because I hope they stop trying. So there we go. Here's hoping, because then we'd have to cover another one. It'll be fun.
Good point. Good point.
What's the longest franchise that you've covered?
I feel like Children of the Corn.
What is that longer than 11?
It's around. It might be 11.
I think Halloween with the new ones might be 12 or 13 now.
Oh, that's
Maybe.
a good point. It wasn't that long when we first covered it, but
'Cause I
they've
think
made
Zombie might
three
have
since
made the
then.
10th one, 10 or 11th one. So now we're up to
Yeah,
like
I think you're
13.
right about that. There's too many of those fucking things.
Too many. By the
Um,
way, we didn't make the other. This franchise likes to do Buffy and Angel references. Judgment at season 3, episode 1 of Buffy or Angel, or season 2.
season 2, episode 1.
Sorry, the jousting one.
Of course, of
Yeah,
course.
with the Final Destination 2 pregnant lady. She's pregnant in that episode too, which was crazy.
Yeah, aka Rico's wife from Six Feet Under.
Okay. So that's it. What are we doing next week? I hope you guys liked Hellraiser. If you watched them all, thank you
Oh,
guys. If you watched them all, honestly, that's crazy to me. If people actually watch these movies,
people did. Like
like
I
all
saw
of them.
many people watching
Oh,
along with
let's
us
check
Letterboxd.
Letterboxd or Patreon. So say what we're gonna do next. I'm gonna load the Letterboxd or Patreon.
All right, next week on the show, we are going to catch up with a couple of franchises that have released new entries in recent days. Okay. Um, One of them was a pre Logan franchise. And Logan, are you going to watch any of the originals?
It's a good question that I haven't really thought about. I
You
guess
should
I'll have
watch
to
at
watch the
least,
first one.
you should watch the first one.
Yeah, I guess I'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a new
We are
thing. Maybe I should go in open, you know?
maybe watch them in reverse order.
Well, I'm definitely not going to watch more than two of them.
No, no, I'm not saying that. I mean, watch this new one and then that one.
Oh, maybe I'll do that. I was thinking about doing that with the new uh James McAvoy movie. Watch the new one and then watch the original one.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
What we're doing is the new The Crow. All right, we
Starring Bill
covered.
Skarsgård.
Yeah, we covered four of those back with in the Henry days, and now we've got Rupert Sanders directing the new Crow. If you've never heard of him, remember that time Kristen Stewart cheated on Robert Pattinson and fucked that director in a car?
Yep, that's
It's
him.
this guy.
What was that? Snow White and the Huntsman?
It was, yeah.
Okay. What else
Um,
is he famous for?
he
Well, I
did,
guess he's
I think,
famous for that.
Ghost in the Shell with
Carjo.
what ScarJo, yeah, yeah. So this one, he's got this new Crow movie out with Bill Skarsgård, my third favorite Skarsgård, and FKA Twigs and Danny Houston, easily the weakest Houston. So
What's
lots of
FKA Twigs?
she's a singer. The it's all like the worst nepo babies of nepo families in this
Who's the third
movie.
person you said, sorry?
Danny Houston.
Oh, okay, of course, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fair
All
enough.
right. And then we're also covering the animated Transformers 1, which came out in August
Mm.
and got good reviews.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it didn't do super well at the box office, but it got some good reviews. It's got Chris Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson, Lawrence Fishburne, and all your favorite Marvel actors. And
Is he in
uh,
Marvel, Fishburne?
yeah, of
There's
course
in DC.
he plays Bill Foster,
Who's that?
aka Goliath. He's in
Oh,
the Ant-Man movies. And it's directed by Josh Cooley, the fella that directed Toy Story 4.
oh shit.
Yeah,
Here
so
he is. He's
hopefully
back.
Forky shows up.
That would blow my mind.
Yeah,
If Forky takes
absolutely.
on Optimus Prime, we'll see who
Or
wins
what
that
if
battle.
like one of them it was just like all of a sudden Megatron transformed into Forky?
That'd be so good.
It would be.
Is he not making the fifth one? Aren't they doing a fifth Toy Story? They didn't bring the this
No,
guy
I
back.
think they were like, let's get a talented guy to do this one.
Oh yeah, let's make this one count. The fifth
Yeah,
one because
yeah,
the fourth one was so shit.
yeah,
I
yeah.
liked it. I liked the fourth one, but I didn't know that the third one had or this Transformers had good reviews. I think it looks
It
terrible.
people liked it. I think it looks terrible too. Like honestly, like the trailer was like embarrassing.
Yeah, like one of the worst trailers in years.
If it's like if you were at the movies and someone knew you were a fan of Transformers and that trailer came up, like it'd have to come up after the movie.
Yeah, imagine that comes on and you hit them like, oh, new Transformers, and then like the trailer happens, and then after they're just like looking at you like, what the
Oh,
fuck?
I
I'm
know it.
This is my
It's like
friend.
it's like the morning the X Files I Want to Believe came out, and I took the girl I was dating to go see it, and I was like, the X Files is fucking awesome. You're gonna love this. And then that movie sucked, and like. I remember halfway through the movie, the lights came on in the theater. Like there was like a fire alarm. And so they had like shut off the movie for like 10 minutes. I turned to her. I was like, I'm sorry. This is not what
The
the
show
X
is
Files
different. I
is.
promise.
Yeah.
Did they get the actors for the movie? They did, didn't they?
Yeah. It's all the
You
people.
guys did that, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah. We
You and
did.
Henry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember making that
By,
thumbnail.
by the way, Andrew Stanton directing the new Toy Story. So,
Okay.
that's pretty good. He's the Finding Nemo guy.
Yeah, yeah.
and
Maybe Wally.
Wally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And John Carter.
What's Brad Bird up to?
Uh, ah!
Oh no. Because last day, oh, is he doing Incredibles 3? That ended on a cliffhanger. Like we might get Incredibles 3.
We don't need more Incredibles movies. We're making a new Fantastic Four. Brad
No, come
Bird.
on.
Let's see if he's got anything in development.
I
Mm,
hope so. He's the goat in my eyes. He's
he's
like the
got a
greatest
film
action
coming out
director.
in 2026, sir. It appears to be called Ray Gun.
Oh, I've heard of that. She was a breakdancer at the Olympics.
That
Wow, I can't believe I remember that.
was a great pull.
Ray Gun.
All right.
Shout out.
All right. So come on back next week for the Crow and Transformers One.
Oh,
I'm
we have a
sure.
Patreon comment
Oh, what do we got?
from Eric Nelson. By the way, Eric just followed me on Letterboxd the other day, and I don't follow Eric. I don't know, like, we went this whole time without following each other on Letterboxd. I really don't know how that happened. Did he just make a Letterboxd? I don't know.
He has been a lot more active on it recently.
Yeah, very
I
weird
don't
though.
know. I feel like he was like on his honeymoon and he liked like 30 of my reviews. And I was like, is he just like
On his
reading
honeymoon?
my letterboxed reviews?
I don't know. He was having a good time. He
Yeah,
says,
love Eric.
Since you brought up SpongeBob in previous episodes, I just want to say the best character on that show is easily the guy who always screams, "My leg! My leg!" There's a character who does that all the time. Not in every
I don't
episode,
think we have a hat of him.
but when you hear him going, "My leg! My leg!" it's pretty funny. So shout out to
Okay.
him. Not
Okay.
the best character though, but it's funny.
Not as
Patrick,
good as Sexy Squidward.
Patrick, obviously the best character. Sexy Squidward's good, but or
Doodleball.
Gary. You'd like Gary. You know who Gary is?
Is he blue? No,
Nope.
that's Squidward. Um, I don't think I do.
Gary is SpongeBob's pet snail.
Oh, what? I don't
Exactly.
understand that
You
show.
want to hear about
All
how
right.
Gary speaks?
Mm, fine.
Meow. He meows like a cat.
That's fun. That's
there
fun.
was an episode where there was snail racing, and Patrick enters the snail race with a rock, but then the rock wins the race. Oh my god, I love that show so much. So let's subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're almost at 1,000
Yeah.
subscribers. We're at
YouTube's
973
wow.
watching.
All right. YouTube's doing great, man. Logan's doing like such work over there. Like this shit looks incredible.
We almost
Um,
got all of Buffy's Angels up there.
my
We'll probably
mom
have it up
watched
there
the
tomorrow.
Hubie Halloween episode, the YouTube
Good.
one,
Yeah,
where I
lots of
spread my legs.
I feel like
Um,
I feel like Tim like clicked on it a lot because there are a lot more views on that one than the other
oh
videos. So
maybe. All
I
right.
think that's Tim's doing. But I want to say the Buffy episode, where is it where the wild things are, where they have sex the whole episode?
Mm.
That thumbnail is like Buffy in bed with like the cover covering her, and that has way more views than every other.
Oh my
So they're
god.
just like pervs on YouTube that see that thumbnail and click on it. So maybe that's the way to do. Make like
Yeah, make them all
risque
pervy.
thumbnails.
Hmm.
Yeah, maybe that's we're out.
Great stuff.
But yeah,
Uh, all right. So patreon.com/slash the franchise as well. We've got a He Swift coming up this week talking about
yes,
Lover,
love
Buffy and
her.
Angel, the penultimate episode of Angel, and Seeing Red, which is a major episode of Buffy.
Ooh.
And we've got
Big Brother. We're almost
Big
done with Big
Brother.
Brother
We're
24.
yeah, two more episodes of Big Brother, and then we're wrapping up that season. And then Hey, I'm watching here coming your way as well, episode 101. So keep listening. We do a lot of shows.
It's true. My
All right.
uncle texted me yesterday, said, "I love your podcast, The Franchise. What other shows do you do?" And I like gave him the link to the Patreon and was
Oh,
like, "We do
nice.
this and this and this and this." So that was crazy. My freaking uncle listened. I didn't even know that. But
Shout out to Logan's uncle.
I doubt he was listening to this Hellraiser
Shout
10 and
out to
11.
Logan's uncle.
Yeah, shout out to my uncle. Let's go, Brandon. His name's Brandon.
Oh god. Slime
Oh,
is
okay.
delicious.
Oh, okay. You eat it? You like
Sure.
it so much you eat it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.